to another Mongrel episode, late at night. Is it late? I don't know. It gets dark really early around here and I haven't got my watch on me today, so I have no idea what time it is. Time to get on with the Mongrel. This episode, so in the last episode, you saw me create the subframe, the seat subframe, which is here, pretty much bolted on there. I have to admit, it probably is slightly higher than I probably would have preferred it to be, but what I didn't want to happen was there to be too much of a gap between here. So I had to come up with a compromise where, yes, it would have been nice to have it a bit lower down, and I could even shorten that a little bit actually, come to think of it. I've got the space to actually bring the top down so it's not pointing as much up, but I mean, that's things I can tidy up afterwards. And of course, if I would have moved it even further back, it would have had an even bigger gap in the middle here, and that's something I didn't want to happen. Today, I'm going to create a seat pan, put some seat film on it, and upholster it as well in one video, because I don't want to drag this one out. And I know exactly what I'm going to be upholstering it on. It's going to split opinions. It's going to completely divide opinions, because I'm going to use an old pair of jeans for this. The whole upcycling thing, just like I did with the Warrior. And I know the Warrior seat kind of created a bit of a divide of people saying, don't like using leather jacket on that. The Mongrel is the ultimate kind of DIY job using bits that I found, bits that people don't want. What better than an old pair of jeans? Not going to be waterproof, of course. You don't need to comment about that. I'm not going to be riding this bike in the wet. Definitely not. And to make it even more DIY, I'm going to use a bit of seat pan that I originally used on the Ducati. So this is going to be the Ducati seat pan, until I realised that I'd just make a fiberglass one rather than a steel one. And I don't know why I've cut it up. I've used the other part for something. I've no idea what. So that sits on there. I need a back section, and I'm just gonna weld the two together, because I'll be completely honest, I don't want to pay for a new piece of sheet metal, so I might as well tack weld that. That's job done. You're never going to see this ever, because it's going to be wrapped in the seat. It's going to be strong enough, so that's it. Oh, it's getting colder and colder. Oh, I wish it was summer again. But I've got the seat pan here, done. That's welded together, really ugly looking weld. Let's put our hands over it so you don't see it. At least I'm good with the grinder, a little bit. And some foam. So what this is going to do, do you know what, there's ton loads of foam here. In fact, I could get quite a few seats out of that. So I will cut it that way. Will it extend? Yeah, that extends the length of the seat. Cut some foam out now, trace it through, and then cut the foam out. I can choose what kind of jeans I'm going to put on them. And just in case you don't know, this foam is really nice solid foam, available from the website. Unfortunately, as it stands at the very minute, delivery outside of the UK is pretty much impossible with what's going on with COVID. So UK only, you can get these from the website. What I do like is this pocket here. It's a pocket in a pocket, and I'm wondering if I can incorporate that, including this kind of belt loop as part of the seat. I just want it to look really, really, really DIY in a cool sense, and I think that might be it. So one thing is kind of bothering me about this is, could that be an inch lower down, especially when it's got the seat on it? I think that height's fine for when the seat is there, but I do think it needs to be a little bit lower. Let me unscrew it and let me see what I can do with it. Right, here's a little fun fact. I wasn't happy on the height of the subframe. It's gonna have to be reworked. I thought it was up there, and when I was doing it, yeah, it looked fine because the level of the frame does go up. But what I didn't like was the gap between the back wheel and this top bit. So anyway, I've cut it off. No big deal. And what I need to do now is to tack it back on there, and then I'm gonna have to address where that grabs at the bottom. I'm gonna have to take that bottom rail off, reshape it, shorten these cross sections down. I might as well do it at this stage before it's welded, before I've gone to that effort. I know it's a pain in the bum, but after putting the seat and the foam on there, yeah, it did need to be lower. New day, morning. Oh, stinks of resin in here. I was working late last night and I had a bit of a sort out. whilst I was waiting for this resin to dry, and I wasn't sure if it was going to dry because I was a bit about my measurements, but it's dried. In short, I decided to create a seat base out of fiberglass, which is what I've got here. My thinking was that I'd create this seat pan in steel, and I was thinking, well, how am I going to attach the fabric? Obviously I could use glue, which is what I've done in the past, but the thing is with glue, it takes so long to dry, and when you clamp it, it's kind of a guessing game of where it's going to dry, what the tension is going to be like. At least if I use fiberglass, I can staple gun it in, and then I can adjust the tension as I'm going, and if I don't think the tension's right on one side of the fabric, I can take it off and restaple it. That's the way I prefer to do things. I'm not a proper upholsterer, but just for me, that's easier. And here we have it, my little seat, which looks like a pair of jeans, folded. Perfect. I really wanted to keep that pocket there, and this little pocket. I just think it adds a little bit of character. I've got the stitching going all the way around. In fact, I've just realised I need to pull it down at the back. There's a bit of a lip. Let me do that now. But that's it. I'll just sort out that lip at the back, and then I'll put it on. And I do need to trim around the inside actually, so we don't have these well, in the way of these screws. So I've got 4 screws that'll drill through the frame, and that's it. So this is it, the seat. I like it, I like it. It is planted seat at the back, but that's what I see bobber seats being. They are simply just a seat on the back that don't necessarily blend into the rest of the bike. And that's exactly what this does. It's even got a little pocket there. 2 pockets, just in case you want to put your riding gloves in there, for example. I'm only kidding, don't take that seriously. But what I have had to do is I've clamped this down a bit lower, and I've just put a spacer down there at the moment because I need to, obviously, like I said, rework all that and make it clip into there. But I think that new height is better because now that comes up to the bottom of the tank a bit better. And I think the flow is nicer that way. So that is all from me for this episode. If you like what you see, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and also visit fortheboldindustries.com if you want to show your support and buy any merchandise or even this seat foam down there. For next week's episode, I might even show the Myco. There's a lot going on with the Ducati at the back. There's 3D printing going on. There's obviously the carbon fibre body and everything, and that's taking about 3 weeks to do. So there's a lot going on in the back. So I might actually show you the Myco next week. Who knows? So that's all from me. I'll see you next week.